probably not be able to get an Amex card. Amex cards, a lot of people think are very aspirational, very high, and they are. They are very great cards, best support, best service. But the eligibility criteria for an Amex card, like the one I just said, the Platinum Travel, is only 6 lakh rupees salary. So you can get that fairly early in your career. Now, the thing about this card is that when you spend 4 lakh rupees on this card, like credit card enthusiasts call this the 4 lakh card. Like this is only good for spending 4 lakhs in a year. Now you've already told me that you spend 6 to 7 lakhs. So just 4 lakhs is covered in this card.
Okay.
Right? Now you spend 4 lakhs. What this card gives you is around 48,000 points.
Okay. When you spend 4 lakhs.
When you spend 4 lakhs.
Okay.
Right? Now these 48 to 50,000 points that you want, you can earn more also if you accelerate, buy vouchers, things like that. I teach all of that in my class. So 50, 60,000 points easy. But bare minimum 48,000 points you're getting from this. Right? Now this 48,000 points can be transferred. You can transfer it to Singapore Airlines, you can transfer it to Qatar, you can transfer it to Virgin Atlantic, you can transfer it to Marriott Hotels. Now Marriott Hotels has a 1:1 conversion rate. So your 48,000 points become 48,000 Marriott points.
Okay.
Right? Now there's a hotel that opened up 1 year back in Rishikesh. It's called the Westin Rishikesh. There are many hotels. There's some in Bangalore, I can name a few more also. There's some in Delhi, like Westin Sona and whatever. We take the Rishikesh example. That hotel costs 35 to 40,000 rupees per night.
Okay.
If anyone's watching this, Google Westin Rishikesh, look at that property images. It's pretty crazy. It's very aspirational hotel, 35,000 rupees a night. And if you look in points, you go on the Marriott website, go to Bonvoy, that's the loyalty program, log in, click on Westin Rishikesh over there, and directly click on book with points. You'll see that it costs 25,000 points. It used to be 18,000. Now they've increased it. Now it's 25,000 points.
So points are lesser than the actual rupee value.
Yeah. So first you earn the points on the Amex. Now Amex, I give minimum conversion 50,000 points. You can actually make 60,000 also.
Okay.
60, 70,000 also.
Okay.
So the first is 50,000 points on Amex. Now you can transfer Amex to Marriott at a 1:1 conversion. But in November and December, they always have a 30% bonus. For last 2 years, they've been doing this. So your 50,000 points become 65,000 points.
So during November and December, there is some season or something.
There is a Marriott and Amex partnership or a deal that they say, oh, you can transfer your Amex points for a 30% extra to Marriott.
During the end of the year.
Yeah.
Which is when usually people party.
Yeah. So November you can transfer it, transfers within 48 hours. Directly your 50,000 points becomes 65,000 points.
So now I can say three nights.
Almost 3 nights. Right? And if you use Gifter, which is a portal where you can buy vouchers, if you buy vouchers on, let's say you get that Amex card and you buy Amazon vouchers on Gifter, you get 3x points. So these small things, like in detail we can go, but in detail if we go, you'll get bored. But the point is this can get you 60, 70,000 points. I easily make 60,000 points on my Platinum Travel. I converted to Marriott giving me 78,000 points. That gives me 3 to 4 nights in the Westin Rishikesh. And that itself is worth 1.2 lakhs. So I'm easily making 25% returns if I choose to stay at that hotel. If you choose a different hotel, point conversion.
So almost everyone who's watching this podcast is definitely spending around 30k per month. So 30k per month is almost 4 lakhs a year. So you're telling me that if I know how to spend this 4 lakhs the right way using an Amex credit card, I can get 2 to 3 nights of free stay in a 5-star hotel without breaking a sweat.
Easy.
Got it.
Yeah.
And this is the real. Okay. So, but the drawback of Amex, a lot of people complain that Amex is not accepted anywhere. Like, how do I, go through this? Like, wherever you go, Amex, they're like, Amex is not accepted. It's either Visa or MasterCard. Because Amex, I think they charge very high percentage fee. So a lot of people complain saying that what's the point of having an Amex credit card if I can't even spend it? So what is the hack around this? Is there a hack in the first place?
Yeah, there is. So first off, fundamentally, an Amex can't be your first credit card. You should always have a Visa or Master's backup. Now, you can probably, whatever bank you have, go to them, ask for any free card, build your CIBIL over 6 months, then apply for an Amex. So wherever Amex is not accepted, you at least have some other card to use. Number one. Number two is what I do, and I've never had a problem with Amex, is I specifically buy vouchers from this site called Amex Gifter. Every site
Gifter
has
spelling?
G-Y-F-T-R.
Amex Gifter.
Yeah.
I just need to Google this.
Why I said Amex Gifter is because Gifter, G-Y-F-T-R, is a voucher site where you can buy vouchers. Now, Gifter has partnered with many credit card companies to give extra points if you buy it from that credit card company's portal. So you can type in HDFC Gifter, Axis Gifter, Amex Gifter.
So it's not just limited to...
Yes, this is great for anybody, right? And you can buy these vouchers on the site and you get extra points. On Axis, they give some extra coins. On HDFC, you get like 5x points. And on Amex also, there's like a 3x on this card. Different cards have different whatever. So you get more points from that. So first, I'm buying vouchers on Gifter. What voucher am I buying? They have 200 vouchers for everything. So for example, if I'm going to Pantaloons, and if I buy 10,000 rupees worth of clothes, and if that Pantaloons sales, that cashier tells me, sorry sir, we don't accept Amex. So no problem, I'll go on Gifter, buy the 10,000 rupee voucher of Pantaloons, and with my Amex card, with 3x points, then okay, this is the voucher, take this if you're not taking the Amex card.
Got it.
I still did it. Number two is Pantaloons is
and you earn 3x points as well.
I earn 3x points and I got to use my Amex. More than that is I will go to Gifter and buy Amazon Pay vouchers. Okay. Amazon Pay vouchers for me is like money. I'll explain why. I buy 10,000 rupees worth of Amazon Pay vouchers and I'll add it to my pay balance in Amazon. Right? Now that Amazon Pay balance can be used for anything I shop on Amazon. Like I have a dog, so I'm buying dog food, pet treats, pet supply, all on Amazon. Next is I pay all of my bills. Credit cards don't give points on utilities. Most credit cards don't.
When you mean utility, you mean like electricity bill?
Electricity bill, phone bill, water bill. It could also be insurance payments, all of that, education fees.
Credit cards don't give points for this usually.
They don't, because this is like a mandatory expense and people are spending lakhs of rupees, so credit card companies are losing money when they give points on this.
Yeah.
But the loophole here is that you can add Amazon Pay balance and pay all of these on Amazon Pay. So I add 10,000 rupees to my Amazon Pay balance every month. I got 3x points on that, and I got points on my electricity bill because I paid it not by credit card. I paid it through Amazon Pay balance, which I got through my credit card.
So when you pay through Amazon Pay balance, again you get more points.
No, I bought the Amazon Pay voucher, and that gave me 3x points.
Got it.
Right. So
and then using the Amazon Pay balance, you're paying electricity bill.
Correct. So technically, I'm getting points on my credit card for paying that electricity.
Got it. That's another loophole that you figure out.
So I pay my electricity, I pay my broadband bills all on Amazon with Amazon Pay balance. So that is how you get 3x points. So that is where Amex comes in handy. Where one, it works everywhere online. Number two, try to optimize for vouchers. Number three, pay your utilities through Gifter. And number four, connect your Amazon Pay balance to all of these third-party sites that also accept wallet. Now, when you go to any site, let's say you're booking a cab on Uber, it will ask you how you want to pay. UPI, credit card. At the bottom, last one, will show wallet. Click on wallet. They take Amazon Pay balance.
On Uber also.
My Amazon Pay balance is linked with Zomato, with Swiggy, with Instamart, with Zepto, with Uber, with all of those.
Right.
So Amazon Pay balance is going everywhere.
Right.
Now I go to a restaurant. Restaurant has told me, sorry sir, we don't accept Amex. No problem. I open Zomato. There's a pay now feature on Zomato itself. You pay now over there. They have some card discounts also, or they have some like 150 rupees off even if you pay by the app. So I'm getting some 10% off there. On top of that, I'm paying through Amazon Pay balance. So in that,
so if a restaurant doesn't accept,
I smile and I say I'm paying through Zomato.
Nice.
So it's never really a problem, I felt. But certain cases, let's say we're going to a local vendor, local shop to buy dal, sugar and all. Maybe there you can't use it. Maybe Big Basket might be slightly more expensive. So there you maybe don't want to spend. But there you can use a cashback card or something.
Interesting. So we've covered a simple SBI cashback card. Now we also talked about Amex Platinum card, which allows me to get like free hotels and flights. Platinum travel card, which gets me free hotels and flights. Now I want you to tell me what credit cards you have, right? Because now I want to go, I want to go through the entire journey of as a person gets richer and richer, how fancier does the credit cards get? Like take me to the ultimate billionaire level status. Let's start with you. Right? What credit cards do you have?
Okay, let's see. I'll share my journey actually in terms of what cards I have, how I got there.
Like, how many do you have? How many credit cards do you have?
I mean, in my wallet, maybe I have like 10 right now.
You you're carrying 10 credit cards with you.
I think so, yeah. I haven't counted. But maybe there's more at home that I don't use anymore. But yeah, I actually started with Axis Bank. It was an Axis Neo credit card. And that got upgraded to the Select card. So this card is what I started with. This was my starter card. My starter credit card was an Axis Bank Neo credit card.
Okay.
Right? And that was, I just got my first salary and they opened salary account and I said, what credit card do you have? I proactively said, what credit card? Even when my first salary, 13,000 rupees, I'm still, my mindset is, what credit card do you have? How can I build my credit?
At 13,000 rupees salary.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when you got your credit card.
Yeah, so I got my first
So this
credit.
was your first one?
They upgraded it to a Select card, but it was called Axis Neo.
Okay, so this is one. What else do you have?
Then after that card, after 1 year, as soon as I built my CIBIL score, I got the American Express membership rewards card. So I didn't
So
waste
to
any
get the
time.
American Express, you need to first build some credit score.
They will never give it to you as a first card.
Okay, so American Express or Amex is only given to people who have some credit history.
This is a 6-year-old card. I haven't changed it.
Wow.
But
Color is fully gone.
yeah, it's gone. But that I still use it till date because it has good reward rates here and there.
So this is okay. This is the second one.
This is the card you should get when your salary is maybe 30,000-40,000. You're spending up to between 12 to 20,000 rupees. An American Express membership reward card is the card you should
This
get.
is the American Express membership rewards.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should not spend more than 2.5 lakh rupees on this card.
Okay.
So if your expense is less than 20K a month, use this for 20K. Use this wherever it's not accepted.
Got it.
That's it.
Got
Simple.
it. Got
On top of that, when your expenses increase, I added an American Express Platinum Travel card.
Which we just talked about.
The Platinum Travel card. Now this is what the 4 lakh card. So I used to spend 4 lakhs on this. Anything more than that I used to spend on this. So about 6 lakhs of my expense was covered there.
Okay. Let's go up, man. I want to see how the rich live. Next.
Then there was a phase, a very controversial phase where this card was the best card in India.
Which is this?
It's called the Axis Magnus card. 2 years back.
Okay.
2 years back, Axis Bank wanted to get into the premium segment. They had cards, but more than 2 years back, 2.5 years back. Now they had to build a plan to take over HDFC's card market, where every HNI customer was either using an HDFC Infinia or an ICICI Emerald or a Jet Miles card or something, right? And they had to build a strategy. So they built a strategy where they literally gave away free money.
So they're burning money.
They burned so much money in the acquisition strategy to get HNIs to buy this card, to get this card.
What's so
And
special about this?
this card was giving 30-40% return rate if you spend 1 lakh a month.
Wow.
I milked this card for a year and a half, where I spent 1 lakh a month, even if my spend was not 1 lakh that month. Even if my spend was, let's say, 70-80K. I was like, 1 lakh you have to hit to get the bonus points. You go on Myntra, you buy like 20,000 of gold.
Oh, okay.
And
so you're spending also wisely. You're spending to buy assets only.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a big unusual hack. Buying gold on Myntra is also considered as a legitimate expense on credit card.
and it maybe costs 5-6% more than my jeweler, but I'm getting 30% back on that. And because of people like that, I wouldn't say me, but people like that who abused this.
Okay.
Abused this to a level you can't imagine, where they're buying lakhs of gold on 4 different cards just for that and selling it back and keeping the margin of between that. They had to aggressively devalue this card quite a bit. So that was when
these kind of opportunities keep coming again and again in the market, and
if
we need to be
you
hearing.
know about credit cards, yes.
Got it.
Correct.
What is next? Now this is for what income level? This card?
1 lakh a month. So if you spend
So I'm making like 20 lakhs per annum.
Yeah. But
Maybe 25 lakhs per
I
annum.
would not suggest it anymore. Now I would suggest
Next. I'm getting richer. Tell me what's next. Now I'm making 30 lakhs per annum or 40 lakhs per annum. What's next?
there you go. So now this card got devalued. I'm looking for an alternative now. At this point of time, my expenses as my career progressed was around 10 to 12 lakh rupees. So I'm spending 4 on this one, 2 on this one, and I needed something for more expense. Spending more on this is not worth. There's nothing beneficial above 4 lakh.
Okay.
And Magnus got devalued.
So what is next?
You switch to Axis Atlas.
Okay.
This card, the base return rate on this card, if you spend anywhere, go to a shop and spend, is 5.3%.
Okay.
If you transfer it wisely, it's 5.3%. Can go up to 7.8 if you transfer to Accor Hotels, which is even more. But normal swiping on this card gets you 5%. Travel swiping gets you 11%.
Okay.
If I'm booking a flight, an Indigo flight, don't book it on Make My Trip with this card. Book it on Indigo.com, like on the site.
That's an interesting
Yeah.
hack.
And directly, it's not even a hack. It's just reading the TNCs, reading about the card benefits.
You read the terms and conditions.
You have to learn the benefits, or at least the reward rates and the conversions and where it can be used, where it can't be used. And guess what? This card's exclusion criteria is rent, is gold, is education fees, things like that you cannot use to get points.
Okay.
So Axis learned from where they made mistakes with the Magnus, what people were finding as loopholes,
And put that in exclusions.
Put that as exclusions.
Got it.
Right? Now, I know how much your rent is. Now imagine if you had to pay your rent with the card and got 30% back.
I have to go on an international vacation every week.
Yeah. So imagine how I milked that for a year and a half. And that's where, so I've always been frugal with my points, making points through the American Express cards. But once in a while, these hacks come. Axis Atlas also, I feel, is very overvalued even now. I think that it can potentially get devalued further. It's one of the best cards in the market. It's very easy to get.
So what I'm realizing is that there is no such thing as a best card forever. You need to be updated. When it gets devalued, it is your job to see in the market which is the next best card, and that requires a lot of research and reading the terms and conditions.
Absolutely. And the mindset, at least that I follow, and if you want to follow, or I should think you should be wise to follow, is make hay while the sun shines situation, where don't think that this card has been going well, it will get devalued in 6 months, so I won't get it. Get the card, make hay while the sun shines. Abhi mil raha hai, abhi le lo. That's the situation, right? And earn and burn. Earn your points. Use them. Even if the value you're getting not the best value out of it, let's say you're getting not 1 rupee value or lesser value, still use it, because you don't know when the next devaluation of any other program is also coming. Right? The point is to save your money. People start earning points and then they get this high of points. I want to make 500k points, 600k points, then save my points. And okay, I won't use my points, I'll book that flight with money. No, the point is to use the points and save your money.
Not accumulate the points.
Yeah, accumulate the points to a level and have a plan. But if you have a flight coming and you have extra points and you don't have a use for those points, some people will still say, hey, let me keep accumulating and make a bigger plan out of it and let me pay with my actual money for this flight. Don't do that. The point is to save your money. Take that 10,000 rupees you saved and put that in an asset. Let that grow, not your points.
Got it. Because it might get devalued and then you're going to be in trouble.
Now
What's
we
next?
move on. Now what happened is...
so now I'm earning 30 lakhs per annum. This is the card.
So the Axis Atlas is good to spend up to 15 lakh rupees.
Okay.
Right? At 15 lakh rupees, that's the last milestone. You get extra 5,000 bonus points when you hit the 15 lakh threshold. You get bonus points at 3 lakh, 7.5 lakh, 15 lakh. So when you hit that threshold, there's no bonus points after 15. So if you're somebody who spends 19 lakhs, there is no better combination. Credit cards are subjective. People will all have their preferences of their, but I can still strongly say on this podcast that there is no better combination than an Axis Atlas and an Amex Plat Travel for somebody spending 20 lakh rupees a year. 15 on Atlas, 4 on Amex Plat Travel. That combination sorts you out up to 20 lakhs, right? Okay, there's the Infinia, the ICICI Emerald. Those are very conditional, right? But one card better than this is like the HDFC Infinia, just because of its prestige and the fact
You don't have
that
it?
I'm an Axis boy, so I don't have an HDFC
I
Infinia.
have it. Maybe I can show mine.
Maybe you want to show yours?
Yeah.
That's the card Sharan has in his wallet.
This one.
The HDFC Infinia.
Like this is a very, very popular card. I mean, I obviously got this because everybody was like, this is the best credit card in the country. But why is it called the best credit card in the country?
Because it is for certain categories.
Okay.
What I mean by that is the HDFC Infinia is one of the, I would say there are two best credit cards in India. HDFC Infinia and Axis Magnus Burgundy.
Okay.
HDFC Infinia gives you a base return rate of 3.3%. Okay. Axis Magnus Burgundy gives you a base return rate of 4.8%. It's better. HDFC Infinia's Smart Buy portal. So Smart Buy is a portal where you can buy flights or hotels or vouchers and get extra points, accelerated points. So if your base return rate on Infinia is 3.3%, when you spend on vouchers or spend on flights, you get 5x. So your return rate becomes 16%, 16.5.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
When you book hotels, you get 10x points. That's
33%.
33%. So if you book a 10,000 rupee hotel room on the Smart Buy portal, you're getting 33% back. 3,333 points back.
And what is the value of 1 point?
1 point is 1 rupee minimum.
Wow.
When you use it towards flights or hotels. Now on that same portal,
So if I'm spending a lakh on hotels in this flight, in this card, you're saying I can get 33,000 rupees worth of points.
no, there's a small catch to that.
Okay.
It's capped at accelerated points of 15,000 points extra per month. So if you're spending 40,000 rupees, you're making 12,000 or almost 15,000 back.
Okay.
And that is the smart usage of this card.
Got it.
And that is why it has an issue. That's why I compare it to the Magnus Burgundy and don't give this the number one title of the best card because of certain exclusions like this where you can't, it's capped. So if you're a UHNI or an HNI, you're still going to struggle with this card because of its cappings. So you're not, it's not unconditional 33%.
So it is not meant for the UHNI segment.
It's meant for the HNIs, UHNIs who don't care about points or something. If you're somebody who wants to maximize, there are better
But
options.
it's quite difficult also to get this card. Like what I've heard is that to get this card, one of the minimum requirements is that you have to pay 36 lakhs in income tax in any given year, which means this person is making like 1.5 crores in income. Is there a way around this? Because not a lot of people make that kind of money, but still want to use the benefits of this card.
Yeah, so how to get an Infinia, from a business perspective, you're right, having an idea like that. But from a salary perspective, you need to have a net. There's a few options of ways to get this. First is you should ideally have a 3 lakh net salary hitting your account.
Okay.
That means with your 30% slab and everything, it's ideally at least
Post
50.
tax monthly income should be 3 lakhs.
That means that a CTC of at least 50 LPA.
Okay.
Where when you minus taxes and all, TK, you'll get around 3 lakhs or around that much. Right. So that is the first criteria. And there is no workaround to this. The only workaround to this is having a TRV, total relationship value with the bank.
What does that mean?
That means if you have FDs with the bank and if you have a ULIP with the bank, that the life insurance policies and stuff, which I highly don't recommend. But if you have those policies, maybe old school people at that point of time when there were lesser investment instruments, highly valued ULIPs and things like that. So when you have a TRV of over 40 lakhs, then they can give you this card.
So if I have a 40 lakh FD with HDFC, then they can give me this card.
Potentially, yeah.
But still quite difficult.
Imagine the opportunity cost of keeping a 40 lakh FD, unless it's like, a hedge against the market or something, fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, and another thing is you have to have prior credit history. You have to have another credit card from HDFC that has at least an 8 lakh limit. And you should, and if you want to bypass some of these things, if you get a lower end card, like a HDFC Regalia Gold or an HDFC Diners Black, which is 1 or 2 levels lower than the Infinia, and if you spend 8 lakh rupees on that within 6 months, then you can apply for an Infinia, then they'll give it to you if your credit limit is above 8 lakhs, right? So there are different ways to get the Infinia, but the first criteria is making more money.
Now let's go to the next level, right? It's fine. This is 30-40 lakhs spent, great. Like what is the most prestigious credit card in the world?
Yeah, so I'll give you a few examples.
What do you have it?
No, I don't. I don't. I have one lower than the most prestigious, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, I'll take it in line. So the first thing is somebody who's spending very extensively on these criteria like travel, like the people who will go to Bali and Maldives and US and Dubai and have those trips and things like that, who spend 2, 3, 4 lakh rupees on their card. The Axis Magnus Burgundy is the best card for them.
2-3 lakhs per month, you're saying?
Per month.
Okay.
Yeah, because
2-3 lakhs per month spending, Axis Burgundy is the best.
So Burgundy is the type of account, and if you have a Burgundy account and opt for an Axis Magnus Burgundy, 30,000 fees plus tax, you get that card. The reason that card is insanely good for somebody spending that much is unlike the HDFC Infinia, which I told you has these accelerated point caps. This card doesn't have a cap.
So I should get that then.
What that means is when you spend 1.5 lakh rupees in a month, that 1.5 lakh will give you an average 4.8% return rate, 5%. But the moment you spend anything above 1.5 lakh in that same month, the conversion rate almost triples. You get 14%.
Wow. Okay.
So if you're going to spend, let's say, 4.5 lakhs in 1 month, right? First 1.5 lakh is giving you 4.8%. Second 1.5 lakh is giving you 14%. Third 1.5 lakh is also giving you 14%.
Okay.
So blended average is above 10-11%.
Yeah.
And as a rich HNI, you don't want to worry about 7 cards, kaun sa card dalu. There's your one no-brainer card, just swipe it everywhere.
Got it.
Minus the exclusion criteria, but that's it. And it's called the AEP, Accelerated Earning Program.
Got it.
So that is a card that I would definitely recommend for an HNI.
Who's spending 2-3 lakhs a month?
2-3 lakhs or 2-3-4 lakhs a month. Yeah, that's it. Now, an alternative to this card for somebody who just wants lifestyle. Let's say they don't care about the return rate, but they care about the lifestyle benefits, like getting a concierge or getting a hotel statuses like a Marriott Gold membership, plus memberships from Accor, all these other benefits, and a good return rate and support system. Then you go in the Amex ecosystem. One above the Platinum Travel, 2 above the Platinum Travel is this card.
What is that?
This is the American Express.
Very, very fancy. Show me.
This is the American Express Platinum card. So this is a charge card.
Okay.
A charge card is different from a credit card. The only difference is that you cannot have an EMI on this. If you spend, very interesting.
Oh, I thought it'll come with that.
Yeah.
I thought it's metal.
It is metal. Yeah. So
okay. So how much for this card?
this card costs 78,000 rupees with tax per year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you pay that much
I pay that much
every year for this card.
It's my first year.
Okay.
I will probably renew it because I'll get a renewal bonus or something.
Okay.
Because I've hit the spend criteria on it. But that's ideally where.
How much do you need to spend on this card to make the 78,000 rupees annual charges free?
So for the first year, actually, I got a great deal. So when I got this card, the fee of this card was 72,000. They increased it recently. So when I paid 72,000, they gave me 1,35,000 points as a joining bonus.
And 1 point is 1 rupee.
1 point is 1 rupee if you transfer it smartly. Even if you transfer it on an average, it's 50 paise.
So you got around 50,000 rupees.
So 135,000 points means about 67,000 odd rupees back on paying 72,000. My joining fee only paid.
Well, that only is free then.
It's free, and I used that those points towards my Canada trip. I booked a United flight recently, so that was very easy.
So, but for next year, you have to pay that 72,000 rupees, or can you make that free?
I can't make that free. I can ask them based on how much you spent in the previous year, 10, 20, 30 lakh rupees. Ideally, 20 lakh is the sweet spot. They'll give you some benefit, 35, 40,000 rupees back. So if the renewal benefit makes sense, then that card, then it can be worth.
So now, what is a charge card? How is a charge card different from a credit card? I didn't even know that there's something called a charge card.
Yeah. So a credit card and charge card are the same in terms of spending on it. Then the statement credit comes out. When that statement comes out, you have to pay the bill within 15 or 20 days.
Okay, that part is same.
That part is same. Credit card gives you the option of, hey, if you don't have enough money, you can make this EMI or you can pay minimum due.
Correct.
Right? And that's where they make the money on the interest.
Right.
Charge cards do not have that option. You have to pay the full amount at the end of that 50-day period.
So that's the difference.
That is one difference. The other difference is that charge cards don't have a limit.
What? There's no limit on this card.
There's no, you can go swipe it for 20 lakhs right now. And there's no limit. They will have a shadow limit.
What does that mean?
That means that based on your expenses, ITR, whatever, they will put a cap of a very high cap. Like if my other cards have a 7-8 lakh rupee limit, they'll put a shadow of 4x that. Maybe this card will have a shadow cap of 30 lakhs. Right?
Okay.
Maybe it will get denied at 30 lakhs. Maybe it will get denied at
But I
25.
can call them up and say, hey, please let me do it.
Yeah.
So technically, I can go out and buy a car with this.
You can go out and buy a car. The best card to buy a car with is that Axis Magnus Burgundy card.
So car before this study.
Yeah, you would have seen a lot of influencers talking about getting cars and getting 17-18% return rates, and because of the uncapped nature of the card.
Wow. So if I'm buying like a 20 lakh car, let's take an example of a Volkswagen Tiguan, which is what I bought. That you're saying I can get a 20% return.
Yeah, 17.5. It can be even 25% if you transfer it to a prominent hotel partner.
So like 5 lakhs worth of points back, and I can use that to book hotels.
Yes.
5 lakhs worth of hotels.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of HNIs are going to start doing that now.
You should have the Axis Magnus, but then it's a conditional card, right? It's not like you're going to buy a car every month.
Of course.
But yeah, any large expenses should be done on that card and no other. Now you have better. Now this is.
So what's the specialty of this card? Like why is this so? Like you said, this is 2 levels below the.
This is 1 level below the top American Express card. But one reason I have this card is they have 10x accelerators and 20x accelerators on certain. Now I consider this card to give between a 1.2 to a 2.4% return rate.
Okay.
If you calculate the points. If you transfer to Marriott and get a good hotel, 2.4% will jayega on this card. Now when I spend on Air India, I get 10x.
Okay.
Points. If I spend on certain criteria, certain partners, Air India, if I'm buying chocolate from Coco Card, if I'm shopping, I'll shop on Tata Click because they have a 10x partner with this.
Okay. So basically they have 10x partners, and if you shop on those partners, you will get that 10x reward.
Yeah. So 10x reward point is around instead of 2.5%, it's 25%. Right? They have 20x partners also.
Like what?
Like it's a site called Darvies. Darvies is a site where you can buy luxury goods. Like the people buying the Bottega bags and the Louis Vuitton jackets and the Jimmy Choo shoes and the like all that fancy stuff
So
for 10.
places where a shirt costs 2-3 lakhs, those kind of places.
Yeah. For example, it can be lower also. Like I'm not in that income bracket, but my mom really likes sunglasses, and for her birthday I bought a Dolce & Gabbana white color sunglass, which was on sale for 15,000 rupees.
Okay.
Now I got 50% back on that in points.
50%.
Yeah, because 2.5 is the base conversion.
Oh, 20x.
I 20x'd it.
Wow. So it's like this card is helping people who are anyway buying luxury goods to get like 50% discount.
Correct. It's between 25 to 50 depending on how you transfer it. If you transfer it to a flight and economy ticket, maybe 25%. If you transfer it to a business class flight or a luxury hotel, 40-50% aram se mil
So I can
jayega.
get business class flight tickets also, 40% discount.
Yeah, 40% discount. No, it can pay that 40% can pay towards that business class flight.
Got it. So if I'm spent, what do I need to spend it on to get that 40%? Like it could be like what? Like what am I spending it on?
You're spending it on Darvies.
Darvies is for luxury goods.
Yes. If you're spending it on Air India or any of the 10x partners, then you're getting those 10x points. So this is how you accumulate the points. Very simply said, if you swipe this card, you're getting 2.5% back. If you use Gifter, you get 5x. So 12.5% back.
Gifters for your Amazon voucher and all
Yes.
that.
If you use it on one of the 10x partners like Coco Card, Tata Click Luxury. Tata Click Luxury, I bought a YSL perfume recently. I have
What is YSL?
YSL is a brand that has fancy perfumes.
How much for a perfume?
7,000-8,000 rupees minimum for a nice perfume, right? So I bought a YSL perfume from there, and that I got 25% back because I got it from Tata Click Luxury.
And that 25% points that you get, you can use it on flights and hotels.
For sure. Like
So
I can have a
basically,
flight.
the rich people like you, they spend on luxury goods and then use those points to get free business class flights and 5-star hotels. That's the hack.
Exactly.
But most rich people don't know about this. They're just spending for everything.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Now let's come to the big daddy. What is the most ultimate god of god credit cards in the world?
So it's more of a status card. It's the American Express Centurion credit card, the black card.
Okay.
Right? I saw this card for the first time, I think 7 years ago for the first time, like I was holding it. And I was working in hotels. I was taking check-in and check-out of different HNIs guests that keep coming. I worked at the St. Regis in Mumbai itself.
Okay.
Now Zoravar Kalra came to my hotel. Zoravar Kalra, he owns Masala Library. His dad used to own Punjab Grill, and he owns a chain called Massive Restaurants. Like Louis Burger is his, and things like that. So he came and he swiped a Centurion card, and I was like, "Ye card kabhi nahi dekha hai. What is this card?" And it's a black American Express card, and I swiped it, and it was very heavy, looked great.
Heavier than this?
Similar, but yeah, slightly more premium.
Okay.
And then I went home and I read about this card, and I was like, you have to have literally minimum 1 crore spending to get invited to this card. More than that, actually.
Okay. So to spend 1 crore a year to even get that invite. It's invite only.
Yeah, it's invite only. Now they're giving it to lesser salary brackets first, and then you meet that criteria, number 1. Number 2, there's like a 10,000 rupee joining fee.
Oh, that's not bad. $10,000.
$10,000. I'm sorry.
Okay, $10,000.
$10,000 joining fee.
So 8 lakhs joining fees.
8 lakhs is just the joining fee to get the card.
Plus GST.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then on top of that, there is an annual fee of 3 lakhs every year you have to pay no matter what.
Okay.
You know, spending waiver, this, that. And that 3 lakh you have to pay just to keep the card.
And what is the specialty about this card?
If you're looking to recoup that money, you will not recoup that in terms of return rate on that card. Like maybe if you're spending 1 crore and the return rate is, can you spend it smartly on 10x and 20x partners, like I said, maybe it can you can get those benefits. Maybe they'll give you a decent joining bonus.
So if I'm spending 1 crore, let's say, on luxury items, and it's very much possible for HNIs to spend 1 crore on luxury goods. So if I play my cards right, I'm going to get 20 crores worth of points.
No, 50%. So 50 lakhs.
No, you're saying, okay, so it's a 50%, correct. So 50 lakhs, correct. So 50 lakhs worth of points, which I can use on first class flights, business class flights, and
if you optimally use it, yeah, you'll get 50 lakhs worth of benefits in hotels or business class flights. If you use it just SA, you'll still get 25 lakhs.
Okay,
Yeah.
damn.
So
with these super premium credit cards, the bank usually knows that these guys are not default because they're super rich. So their strategy is actually to acquire such rich people, to start a relationship with that bank, and then eventually that rich person will probably buy some FD or some insurance product with them or get a loan from them, due to which they're able to make money from the back end.
100%. I have the Axis Magnus card. I'm very keen on getting the Burgundy. Like, I can get it. I can get the Infinia, I can get the Burgundy, but my spend does not justify it. Right? Unless I'm spending 2.5 lakhs, the Magnus Burgundy doesn't make sense a month. The Magnus Magnus. So that's the other thought process you need to have is that don't let your credit card define your spending strategy. Your spending strategy should define your credit card. How much you spend should define what credit card you get.
Okay. So I need to have multiple credit cards.
So if you are eligible for an Infinia or Magnus Burgundy and you have to pay that 12 or 30,000 in fees, right? Does not mean you need to get it just because you're eligible. If your spend doesn't match it.
So what is the craziest trip that you have planned using credit card points, which essentially made it very dirt cheap for you?
So I'll give you 2 examples here. Number 1 is it's actually a hack for airlines called a stopover flight. Right? Now what that means is in layman language, when let's say you're going to America and let's say you're taking an Etihad flight, you'll have a layover in Abu Dhabi and then you'll go to the US after that, right? So when you are staying in Abu Dhabi for 6 hours until your connecting flight takes off, that 6 hours is called a layover. Right? A stopover is when you're spending more than 24 hours in that country. Right? So what did I do? A few years back when I went to Sydney, right? I went by Singapore Airlines. I booked with points. It was about 46,000 points one way, like close to 90-something thousand points. Use my Amex cards, got that. And you can, on Singapore Air, you can book a stopover in the hub. Now I'm traveling Bombay to Sydney. The stopover is where? Singapore, right? So automatically on the app itself, it gives you the option. Let's say I'm going on 20th to 30th of the month. 20th itself, first flight to Singapore, stay 4 days in Singapore. Then from there, go back to the airport after 4 days and go to Sydney. I covered 2 countries without paying for the flight.
Okay.
So I literally, in that same points, which was taking me to Sydney, I told them that, hey, normally the layover would be 2 hours, then I'll give me a 2-day layover instead. Or 3-day layover. You can do that. You can do that too on Turkish Airlines. You can do it on Singapore Air. Singapore Air on the app itself, you can do it. Turkish, you have to call them. But you can always tell them that, hey, I don't want a layover. I want to stop over.
Okay. So 4 days you can spend in Singapore and then go to Sydney.
Yeah.
So you got like 2 international vacations in one flight.
Correct. Do that with your Etihad. Do that with Turkish Airlines. You're going to Europe. You're going via Turkey. Take 4 days in Istanbul. Then go. That way, the first thing is stopover flights. So you can cover 2 trips in one. Number 2 is a trip that I'm doing next month. So I'm traveling business via United.
Okay.
To the US. Now I'm traveling to Canada. Sorry, I'm traveling to Canada. I just came from the US. I'm traveling to Canada in November, right, for my sister's wedding. And I booked via United. Now most of my points I had on my Access Atlas, and it was costing me 98,000 points one way via business class, and return was about 190k. It's half in economy, but 190k points or so return trip from Bombay to Vancouver via business.
And then back.
Yeah, 190k total.
190k points.
Yeah.
Is this return trip?
98k one way.
Okay.
Yeah, so about
Business class
190k,
both.
yes.
Okay.
Otherwise 49k for economy.
Okay.
So double for business.
Okay.
But double for business you don't mind that, because if you think about it, 49k you're paying on economy, 98k you're paying on business. But in rupees, if you had to do that, an economy ticket might be 1 lakh, but a business class ticket is not 2 lakhs. A business class ticket is like 3 lakhs. So usually if you look in rupees, the conversion rate between an economy ticket and a business class ticket is usually 3 to 4x. That's why business is so prestigious, right? But in points, it's only 2x. That is where the ROI of value comes. That's why you get that 40-50% that I was talking about on like that card. That's why business class flights give you better ROI. And I'm not somebody who needs to travel business. I can travel economy. But I just came from the US. I flew Air India from Delhi to Chicago, 16 hours. It was hard. So
yeah, I've heard some bad stories about Air India flight to direct to
I am a
US.
huge fan of Air India, and I hope they do better. I am literally the number 1 cheerleader. I want them to do better, but it was tough.
16-hour flight.
Yeah. So that's a little tough in economy. And obviously, if you have the points, why not use them? And it'll help the content too.
Right. So it's like through credit card points, business class is just twice as expensive as economy. But if you had to actually pay with cash, it could be 3 to 4 times more
Most of
expensive.
the time, correct. If you see a 50k ticket, it'll be 1.5 lakh in business.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
But that's not the hack.
What's the hack?
The hack is something called as an excursion flight.
Excursion flight.
Yeah. What is an excursion? Excursion is, let's say you're taking a vacation to US, right? You went to Chicago just now, right?
Right.
Then from Chicago, you went to Miami. You flew from Chicago to Miami. That Chotu flight is called an excursion flight. A
Okay,
small
so it's
trip
like a small trip around that destination
Yeah,
city. Okay.
yeah. So a small trip you do within a trip is an excursion flight. And a lot of people do on Euro trips, right? You go to, let's say, London and maybe you want to go to Ireland. I did that. Let's say you want to go to Paris and then maybe some others. You can take train or bus also, but then let's say you're going to Germany from Paris.
Right.
Then maybe you need to take a flight. So that's called an excursion flight. What did I do? I had to go to Vancouver for the wedding. I have friends in Toronto. That excursion flight, if you book a return trip via United, that excursion flight, which would have costed me another $300, becomes free.
How?
It's just, you can Google it, United Excursion Perk. It's
Okay.
just a hack on United. They give that to when you book with points. So I got a business class flight to Vancouver in 98k points.
Using on United only.
On United, yeah.
Okay.
Now I go from Vancouver after the wedding to Toronto.
Okay.
And then from Toronto, and that flight, also I get business class because you book the business class ticket, so they give you excursion also business.
Okay.
But 3 hours excursion business doesn't matter, but great to have it free. And that becomes free. So I save $300 there, which I would have otherwise paid. And on the way back is also included. So the whole return trip of 3-way was paid in that one return trip. So it's called the excursion flights that you get for free.
Got it.
So all of this comes with only experience.
And this is what 7 years of experience talking.
Yeah, this is experience and just being that Kira and learning all of this stuff. So that's kind of the difference in terms of learning this. And that's why a lot of people are getting into this now. And the biggest factor is that the credit card market in India is growing so much.
Right.
And I went to the US just now, visited my aunt, okay, and she was asking me about my Canada trip. And I said, I have some credit card points, and I proceed to explain to her what that means. And my 65-year-old aunt, who lives in the US, so yeah, you're going to use miles. Yeah, miles. They already know. 65-year-old, I could go over here and tell anybody. They won't understand what is air miles and air points. But in the US, it's just so widely used that everyone knows it.
Right.
And that is what India's going to be in the next 10 years.
So now tell me the craziest hotel experience that you've had. You know, a hotel that you would never go otherwise using your own money, but something that you could go only because of credit card points.
I've only traveled quite a bit domestically. I've stayed at, for example, the JW in Singapore for like a night. I've stayed here and there in different hotels. So one of the best hotels to actually stay at in India, and I'm going in a couple of months, is the Raffles in Udaipur.
Okay.
Right. This hotel is actually on an island in Udaipur, and the whole island is the hotel. So when you book it, they'll receive you over there. They'll take you on a boat to Raffles Udaipur, and that hotel is absolutely massive, like pinnacle of luxury. I would definitely rank it in the top 3 hotels in India. Like I would call it number 1 personally speaking.
Like how much is a night over there?
40,000 rupees a night.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But with Access Atlas, I stay there for free. Like I will use the Access Atlas, transfer my points to Accor. 10,000 Access Atlas points can give me a night there.
Interesting.
So that's one hotel you can stay at. I stayed a lot in Bangalore here and there. But the best redemptions are luxury hotels abroad.
Okay. Can you give an example?
I'll give you 2 or 3. So one that I want to stay at is the Ritz-Carlton in Maldives. Okay. Now, if you stay here for 5 nights, the point value is around 4 or 5 lakh rupees.
Okay.
It costs around 100k points per night.
Okay.
And if you stay there for 5 nights, Marriott gives you 5th night free.
Okay.
So
And the rupee value of one of these nights is 1 lakh rupees.
It's $2,500 to $3,000 per night.
But if in terms of rupee value, how much would it be?
In terms of rupee value, $2,500 into 5 nights is $12,500. $12,500 is 10 lakh rupees. So
People actually spend that kind of money to stay for 5 nights. 10 lakh rupees.
yeah, the hotel is running. It's not dead. So and Ritz-Carlton is a huge name. And if you see the hotel, see the room, every room has its own infinity pool that actually goes into the ocean.
Okay.
And it's a lifetime experience for most people.
You'll never forget that experience.
Yeah, and 5 nights there is more than enough. And there are some expenses, like you take a seaplane to get there. Hotel food is expensive. Wherever you go, you swim to another island to get food. You'll have to eat there. That expense is there. But the stay, 12 lakh rupees of stay is done in 500k points. That's giving you more than 2.5% value of your Marriott points. This is another.
So wait, 5 lakh points. How do I get these 5 lakh points? How much do I have to spend to get 5 lakh points? How do I use credit cards effectively to spend the least amount of money and get this 10 lakh rupees worth of stay in this 5-star hotel for free?
In the least amount of money.
Yeah.
I would use the American Express Platinum Travel Card plus the American Express Membership Rewards Card.
So these 2 cards.
Yeah, I would transfer them. I would spend 4 lakhs on this, 2 lakhs on this.
So I spend 6 lakhs and how many points?
6.5 lakhs you spend. If you transfer any transfer bonus, this is easily 120k points.
Okay.
Right. Second, and if you have a partner and
My main partner, like my spouse.
your spouse potentially, then they could get the same 2 cards and spend 6 lakhs.
Okay.
And make the same 120k points.
So we have around 250k points.
Correct.
You need 500k points.
Do it for 2 years.
So if we do this for 2 years, we can afford that place for free.
Correct. What did you spend? 6 lakhs, 13 lakhs plus 2 years, so 26 lakhs. Pay 10 lakhs वापस मिल गया.
So it's like 40%, almost 35%.
Yeah, and that's also manageable for most people spending 6 lakhs
Yeah, of course.
in a year.
Right.
So that's one way to do it in a frugal manner. Then obviously, if you're a heavier spender, the Access Atlas or Magnus Burgundy can get you there much faster. But that's one example. Another example, actually, it's going viral on the internet right now, is how you can stay at the JW Marriott in Masai Mara in Kenya
Okay.
for like a junk, like what are those?
I went to that recently. Last year I went. Masai Mara,
You went
the safari, right?
Yeah, the safari place. Yeah, so they actually have a JW Marriott that's opened up there.
No, I didn't stay at the JW. I stayed in something
Now
else.
you can go back and stay at the JW.
Okay.
But that hotel costs $3,000 a night. It's an
I
all-inclusive
definitely
hotel.
didn't stay there. $3,000, 2.5 lakhs per night. Okay.
2.5 lakhs per night, and you can stay there in about 550K points for 5 nights.
Okay. And what's so special about this hotel?
It's an all-inclusive hotel. You have to pay a little bit for like the park fees, but it's probably the pinnacle of luxury. They are the most nice staff. They are the food is included in the hotel. The jungle safari and all of those things are definitely things that like are an experience for most people, and it's just like a lifetime experience that people do. No one is going to spend $15,000 from like at least an upper middle class perspective on that, right? So it gets you there in points. Like
Got it.
I think it's great. Like if I'm staying there and I'm paying with points, and I see the person next to me sunbathing at that pool,
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's paid money for this. So it just feels good. that
Got
we're
it.
getting there.
So Ali, what I've understood from this long discussion is that obviously there is no end to human desires, right? Money at the end of the day is used for having experiences in life, be it going on international vacations, staying in fancy hotels, going in business class flights and all of that. And 90% of people in India feel like they can't afford all of these luxuries in life unless they become a crorepati. And they only think that only people who are HNIs and UHNIs can even think of affording these kind of expenses. But by having this discussion and talking to you for the last 1.5 hours, what I'm coming to realize is that you don't need to be ultra wealthy to live the ultra wealthy life. Even if you are a middle class Indian who knows how to effectively leverage credit card points and hack the system, you can still live the life of the ultra wealthy by living a modest lifestyle. That
Exactly.
is the mind blowing revelation for me, that you don't need to be a crorepati to live the crorepati lifestyle.
Absolutely. And that's literally what I preach. Use credit cards like it's a debit card and get maximum value out of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not going to last, and it's not something that will continue to stay in perpetuity for you to
Yeah.
get 15, 20, 25. So
Right.
definitely use them smart. There are downsides. Every coin has two sides. So make sure you're somebody who is using credit card the smart way. I can't stop saying the fundamental thought process you should have is always get something back when you're spending something. The credit card companies in general will make money off of the transaction fees.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
When you're paying at that POS system, there's 2% charge going back to that credit card company or the bank. Right.
Correct.
You are paying that 2% charge and you're not getting anything back for it.
Correct.
If you are using UPI or if you are using debit or if you're using cash. Right. Try to get something back because that inflated price, that 300 rupee burger, includes the price of that transaction fee.
So you're saying companies like McDonald's and all of them, KFC and all, is now adding that extra transaction fee to the end customer because they've anyway paid that to the credit card company.
100%.
So might as well use the credit card and get that cash back.
Correct.
Interesting.
Right.
But the fundamental requirement of using credit card is that be sensible, right? Do not let it get the better of you because money at the end of the day can also be a slippery slope. Just like how it can give you the luxuries of life, it can also put you into financial ruin, right? And credit card companies wouldn't exist if there weren't people like that who are making those mistakes. So, of course, people have been watching this podcast and have gotten all of these knowledge bites. But when it comes to implementation, that's a different ballgame altogether. And if you do not implement it correctly, then you end up losing more money than actually gaining from this, and credit card companies are profiting from you. So I'm sure a lot of people would be like, how can I talk to Ali directly? How can I, actually implement all the things that has been learned on this podcast? So how can they do that?
Yeah, I love the plug. But yeah, so I work with you, Sharan, on a lot of these things, and I lead the credit card piece that we're running at the 1% Club. We run masterclasses every week. So if you're interested in learning more about credit cards, and if you want to ideally know how you can optimize your credit card expense and use the right card for you,
How many people do you teach every week?
about 5,000 people in a month. So about 1,200 to 1,500 people. It's going up as the popularity increases.
Yeah.
But yeah, I teach 5,000-6,000 people every month on credit cards through our masterclass.
Interesting.
Then we have the 1% Club app, which has the entire course of credit cards.
Right.
For me, the biggest USP of that is refreshed content because this game keeps changing every
Yeah, I think that's the main
6
thing, right? Like, for example, you give this example of this Axis Magnus, which was, all the rave about a year back. But after they devalued, now it's junk, right? So it's very important to stay up to date. And it's not just about, okay, this is the best credit card, I'll just go get it. No, it's about learning those skill set, learn how to fish, right? Because it's more about the mentality and the knowledge of credit card science rather than knowing, this is the credit card for me, I'm going to use it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so this masterclass is something where we teach people the right credit card, and I'm not afraid to tell people right now that the Axis Atlas is great or the Amex Black Travel is great, and I'm giving you the fish because I know that fish, giving you the fish is going to solve your meal for today.
Correct.
6 months down the line, you're going to come back to me, and you need to know
Correct.
what the right card is at the right time.
So every Saturday you come live and you teach this.
And we're building out a credit card advisory where we will have people I train and teach, and also me where you can book time one-on-one.
Okay,
And
people can also come one-on-one call with you very soon.
Yeah,
where you tell them exactly what
me
to
and
do.
I'm building a team, so depending on spend thresholds and what you want to talk about, we will have someone to customize a tailor-made credit card plan just for you.
Interesting. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Ali. I think your 7 years of experience has now been condensed into this 1.5 hour of discussion. I think this is just going to be a huge drop in the social media because this knowledge very few people know. And to get this sort of knowledge, you need to have that actual experience, go through